All right, settle down. You future kings and queens of industry. It's your boy Jordan Belfort, back in the house, ready to drop some truth bombs that'll make your bank accounts sing and your competitors weep. Today, we're not talking about luck. We're not talking about handouts. We're talking about something far more potent, far more dangerous, and frankly, far more profitable: weaponizing psychological triggers for money. Yeah, you heard me. Most of you out there, you're still playing checkers in a chess game. You're working hard, you're grinding, you're hoping, and hope, my friends, is not a strategy. What the sheep out there don't understand is that money doesn't just flow to hard work, it flows to those who understand human nature at a primal level. It flows to those who can compel action, open wallets, and close deals, not just by convincing, but by triggering. Forget those stale sales scripts they teach in seminars. We're diving deep into the raw, unfiltered psychology that makes people say yes before they even realize why. We're going to expose the hidden levers of the human mind, the buttons that, when pressed correctly, unleash a torrent of cash flow. This isn't some hocus pocus. This is the science of influence, the art of persuasion, the brutal truth about getting what you want from a world that actively tries to keep it from you. These 5 psychological triggers, when you truly grasp them, when you embed them into your DNA, they won't just change your business, they'll change your entire life. You'll become a force of nature in any negotiation, any pitch, any high-stakes deal. You'll walk into a room and people will feel your power, your certainty, your unshakable conviction. This isn't manipulation, my friends. This is about understanding how the human mind works so you can serve your mission, build your empire, and finally dominate. Are you ready to stop wishing and start winning? Are you ready to unlock the secrets that'll make you unstoppable? Then buckle up, because we're about to dive into the most valuable lessons you'll ever learn. 1. The trigger of definiteness of purpose, your unbreakable core. Listen up! Before you even think about influencing anyone else, you gotta influence yourself. And that, my friend, starts with definiteness of purpose. Napoleon Hill, that wise old sage, he nailed it. A man or woman without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave, carried by every current, drifting to nowhere worth going. You gotta burn your aim so deep into your subconscious that it becomes impossible to ignore. Most people out there, they're drowning in vague dreams. I wanna be rich, I wanna be successful. What the hell does that even mean? That's not a purpose. That's a wish list typed into a phone at midnight and forgotten by morning. You want to trigger action in others? You better have a target so clear, so specific, so unshakable that your own mind aligns with it instantly. Think about it. Henry Ford didn't hope to build cars. He decided to revolutionize transportation. Charles Schwab didn't dabble. He knew what he was there to build for Carnegie Steel. Their purpose wasn't just a thought. It was a fire in their bones, a relentless pursuit that demanded the world adjust. Here's how you weaponize it. Be ruthlessly specific. Don't just say I want to make money. Say I will build a software company that generates $10 million in revenue within the next 2 years by solving the customer acquisition problem for small e-commerce businesses. Now that's a purpose. It's exact, measurable, and it gives your mind a target. Write it down, memorize it, breathe it. Your purpose isn't some secret you keep. It's the blueprint for your reality. Write it down. Carry it with you. Memorize it. Read it every morning, read it every night. Let it become your compass, your weapon, your obsession. Filter every decision. Does this action move me closer to my purpose? If the answer is no, kill it. No exceptions. No negotiations. Anything that doesn't drive you forward is dragging you backward. You cannot serve 2 masters. You either serve your purpose or your weakness. When your purpose is definite, your energy becomes automatic. You don't need motivation, you don't need outside permission. You wake up with a target and you hit it. If you miss, you reload and fire again. This clarity, this unwavering aim, it creates a force that others can feel. They sense your conviction, your certainty, and the world bows to the person who knows exactly where they are going. Story time. The compass and the storm. I once knew a guy, brilliant mind, sharp as a tack, but he was scattered, always chasing the next big thing. One week he was going to revolutionize real estate. The next he was going to conquer crypto. Then some weird artisanal coffee business. He was busy. All right, but he was like a speedboat in a hurricane. Fast, but going nowhere fast. He lacked that definite purpose. I sat him down, looked him dead in the eye, and asked him, "What is the one thing you are here to build before your time is done?" He stammered. He gave me a laundry list of options. I cut him off. 1 sentence. It took him 3 days, locked in a room, but he emerged with a single burning purpose. He wrote it on a whiteboard, plastered it on his wall, put it in his journal, and from that day on, every decision, every meeting, every dollar spent was filtered through that single purpose. No more dabbling, no more chasing shiny objects. A year later, he wasn't just successful, he was a force. People gravitated to him. Opportunities appeared out of thin air. Why? Because his clarity was a magnet. His definite purpose was a siren song to those who were ready to get on board. He stopped being a leaf in the wind and started moving like a builder with orders from within. That, my friends, is the power of the first trigger. Get your purpose locked in and the world will fall in line. 2, the trigger of self-discipline, the unseen chains of power. Most people talk about freedom, but true freedom, my friends, is built on a foundation of self-discipline. This isn't some Boy Scout virtue. This is the unseen chain of power that separates the winners from the whiners. If you cannot command yourself, you will be commanded by everything else. Your phone will control your mind. The food will control your health. Laziness will control your time. The world is full of masters waiting to own your focus, your money, your attention. The only protection you have is self-discipline. That is your armor. That is your sword. The disciplined man does not need to be told twice. He does not wait for motivation. He doesn't hope for convenience. He moves whether it's raining or sunny, whether it's easy or painful. Why? Because his loyalty is not to comfort. His loyalty is to his mission. Here's how you unleash this trigger. Declare war on laziness. Self-discipline is a declaration of war on the lazy part of you that always wants to sleep longer, scroll further, eat more, and do less. The undisciplined mind looks for escape. The disciplined mind looks for execution. Embrace the pain of progress. Yes, it will hurt. It will hurt to say no to easy pleasures. It will hurt to sacrifice sleep, to grind through fatigue, to train when you're sore, to work when you're uninspired. But pain is the toll for freedom. Suffering is the price for mastery. Weak people run from it. Strong people build empires with it. Compound your consistency. Self-discipline compounds. What starts as effort becomes habit. What starts as resistance becomes reflex. The first time you say no to that donut, it's a war. The 100th time, it's automatic. That's when you know you're free. Not because you always do what you want, but because you consistently do what you decided. Story time. The Ferrari and the Fat Man. I once saw a guy, a whale of a man, huffing and puffing, barely able to tie his shoes. He had the sharpest suit, a custom-made Patek on his wrist, and a gleaming Ferrari parked outside. He wanted success. He had the money to buy the toys, but he didn't have the discipline to tie his own damn shoes without breaking a sweat. He couldn't even walk a block without gasping for air. He tried every fad diet, every quick fix, but he lacked self-discipline. His mind was a battlefield of desires, always seeking the easy path. He'd start strong, full of motivation, then crash and burn. Why? Because motivation is like a hot shower. It feels good, but the effects don't last. I told him straight, you want that Ferrari to represent your life? Then get your body and mind in shape to match it. That means sacrificing comfort. That means doing the work when you don't feel like it. That means saying no to every damn thing that takes you off mission. He hated it. He pushed back. But eventually he committed. He started with just 15 minutes of walking a day, rain or shine, tired or not. He tracked his progress. He treated every small decision as a vote for his future self. Slowly, painfully, he transformed. The weight melted off. His mind sharpened. He started making disciplined decisions, not just about his health, but about his business and his empire. It exploded. Not because he got smarter overnight, but because he became unbreakable. He built his future in silence, fueled by discipline, And now his body screams success louder than his Ferrari ever could. That, my friends, is the power of self-discipline. 3, the trigger of immediate action. Conquer the delay, conquer the world. This one's simple, but it separates the lions from the lambs. Immediate action. That phrase, "I'll do it later," has killed more dreams than failure ever could. Later becomes never. Someday becomes no day. And your life, full of potential, full of strength, full of fire, goes dim because you chose delay over movement. The gap between knowing and doing is where most people drown. They read the books, listen to the podcasts, attend the seminars, but they never move. They collect knowledge like trophies, but their life remains the same. Why? Because they refuse to act. They wait for the perfect time. They wait for more clarity. They wait to feel ready. And while they wait, someone else is out there, building, doing, creating. Here's how you weaponize it. Don't be ready. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a lie sold to the weak. You don't prepare and then act. You act, and through that action, you become prepared. Courage is born in movement. Confidence is built in motion. Answers are discovered on the path, not before you take the first step. The 5-second rule on steroids. Mel Robbins talked about the 5-second rule. You have 5 seconds to act on an impulse or it's gone. Take that to every decision. When a decision is made, move. The longer you wait, the weaker the decision becomes. Every second you hesitate, your mind begins negotiating. It starts creating reasons, excuses, distractions, and delay is death to progress. Done is better than perfect. High achievers move fast, not recklessly, but decisively. They understand that done is better than perfect, that forward is better than flawless. They make a plan, and then they move. They adjust along the way, but they don't stall. They don't freeze. They don't let the moment slip. Momentum is a weapon, and if you don't seize it the second it appears, it's gone. Story time. The man who waited for the stars. I knew a guy once, a brilliant strategist. He had all the plans, all the blueprints, every detail mapped out. He knew the market, he knew the players, he knew the game, but he never launched. He was always waiting for the perfect moment. The stars weren't aligned. The economy wasn't right. He needed one more piece of information. Meanwhile, his less brilliant, less planned out competitors were out there failing, yes, but also learning, adapting, and winning. He'd watch them shaking his head, pointing out their flaws while he remained stuck in endless preparation. He collected strategies like trophies, but his life remained the same. One day I cornered him. "What the hell are you doing?" I roared. "You think opportunity waits for you to feel pretty? You think money knocks on the door of the hesitant?" I told him straight. The truth is, fear doesn't leave. You outgrow it by walking through it. And that only happens through action. He hated it. He resisted, but something clicked. He launched his mediocre product, his imperfect service. He stumbled. He fell. But he kept moving. He learned more in 1 week of messy execution than in a year of perfect planning. Why? Because the mind feeds off data, and the only way to collect data is through action. His business became a rocket, not because he was the smartest, but because he was the fastest to pull the trigger. That's the power of immediate action. 4. The trigger of organized planning and accurate thinking. The blueprint for billions. Now listen carefully, because this is where the real money is made. It's not just about action. It's about intelligent action. And that requires organized planning and accurate thinking. Victory is not random. Wealth, power, freedom, none of them come from chance. They are claimed by men and women who plan with precision and move with force. Organized planning is not optional. It is the master tool of every serious achiever. Without it, your dreams are just daydreams, empty, floating, weak. With it, they become structured, intentional, and real. The man who fails to plan is planning to fail. That's not a cliche, that's a law. Here's how you master this trigger. Define your destination down to the square foot. Vague goals create vague results. Don't just say, "I want to be successful." Define the number. Define the date. Define the outcome. Put it in writing. Carry it with you. Memorize it. Breathe it. Break down the beast. Your goal is the target, but the plan is the path. And every path needs structure. Every outcome needs milestones. Every vision needs tactics. Break your dream into actions. Break your actions into habits. Break your habits into time slots. Break your time slots into a system. Then live that system like your life depends on it. Because it does. Strip away the lies with accurate thinking. Faulty thinking is the cause of every failure and disappointment. The inability to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. The refusal to separate fact from opinion, truth from noise, reality from delusion. Your mind is your greatest asset, but only if you discipline it. It will lie to you, trick you, sabotage you. You must learn to question everything, not with cynicism, but with clarity. Story time! The CEO who didn't know his numbers. I was consulting for a mid-sized company once, floundering, losing money. The CEO was a charismatic guy, full of energy, but his business was a mess. He'd tell me about his vision, but when I asked for the numbers, the specifics, the plan, crickets. He had goals, sure, but they were as fuzzy as a peach. I sat him down. What's your aim? I asked, what are you building? What is the one thing that matters more than anything else? He couldn't answer. I told him straight, you're trying to win a war without a map, without knowing your enemy's strength, without knowing your own. You're broke in life because you're bankrupt in clarity. We spent weeks not talking about grand visions, but about the nitty-gritty of planning. We defined every revenue stream, every expense, every marketing channel. We set measurable goals, daily actions, and a system to track everything. And most importantly, we focused on accurate thinking. He learned to ignore the noise, the opinions, the distractions, and focus only on the useful, verifiable facts. His business didn't just turn around, it exploded. Why? Because when the plan is real, the results become real. When the map matches the terrain, progress becomes predictable. Growth becomes guaranteed. He stopped reacting and started creating. He became a master of his own destiny. Not by chance, but by design. That's the power of organized planning and accurate thinking. The 5, the trigger of persistence and ruthless accountability, the unbreakable force. Most people quit before they even begin. They speak of goals, but collapse at the first obstacle. They whisper dreams, but never commit with action. They want the reward, but not the grind. They want the crown, but not the cross. And this is why they never rise. Because success is not given. It is earned through unbreakable persistence and ruthless accountability. Without these two forces, even the most talented, intelligent, or gifted person will fall short. Persistence is the fire. Accountability is the fuel. One without the other is wasted energy. Together they forge greatness. Persistence is not inspiration. It is not about feeling good. It is the ability to keep moving when the inspiration dies. It is the discipline to continue long after the mood has left. Everyone wants to keep going when it's easy. Everyone wants to show up when the results are visible. But what about when nothing's happening? When the audience is gone? When the effort feels invisible and the pain feels constant? That is the battlefield. That is where the real are separated from the pretenders. The persistent stay in the game because they've made a decision. This is not optional. This is who I am. I do not quit. I do not pause. I do not need applause to move. I have already committed, and that commitment is final. Here's how you make yourself unbreakable. Forge the persistence muscle. Most people fail not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lacked endurance. They folded under pressure. They let the grind break them. They let doubt speak louder than discipline. You must train persistence like a muscle. You don't build it once and forget it. You work it every day, every rep, every push, every time you show up. When it's hard, when it's boring, when it's thankless, you add another layer of power to your character. Embrace the unflinching mirror of accountability. Persistence alone is not enough. Without accountability, it becomes blind motion. You can persist in the wrong direction. You can work hard and still waste years. Accountability sharpens your focus. It holds you to the standard you set when you were clear, committed, and sober-minded. Most people run from accountability because it exposes their laziness. It confronts their excuses. It demands measurement, truth, correction. But the man who seeks greatness does not run from it. He welcomes it. He knows that the mirror doesn't lie. Transform failure into fuel. You must stop seeing failure as defeat. It is not the end unless you make it so. Failure is feedback. It is information. It is the sharpening ground of those who do not quit. Every time you get knocked down and get back up, you are proving that your commitment is stronger than your emotion, that your purpose is louder than your pain, that your will is harder than the wall in front of you. And that is a terrifying power, because the man who cannot be broken cannot be stopped. Story time, the boxer who refused to stay down. I knew a boxer once. A young kid with raw talent. He was fast, strong, but he had a glass jaw. When it came to adversity, the first time he got knocked down, he'd stay down, he'd make excuses, he'd blame the referee, the crowd, his trainer. He had talent, but he lacked persistence and accountability. I told him, kid, talent means jack shit if you can't get off the canvas. You want to be a champion? Then every time you get hit, you tell yourself, this ain't over. I made him accountable. We kept a log of every missed workout, every weak excuse. We tracked his progress, not just in the ring, but in his mind. He hated it. He rebelled, but I held the line. Slowly, something shifted. The pain of the grind became less about suffering and more about forging. He started seeing setbacks, not as defeats, but as feedback. He transformed his body. Yes, but more importantly, he transformed his mind. And when he stepped into the ring for his championship fight, he got knocked down, hard. Everyone thought he was done, but he didn't even flinch. He got up. Slowly, painfully, he got up, and he won. Why? Because he became unbreakable. He made a decision. This is not optional. This is who I am. I do not quit. That, my friends, is the power of persistence and ruthless accountability. So there you have it. You future titans of influence. The 5 psychological triggers that, when weaponized, will unlock levels of success you've only dreamed of. This isn't just theory. This is the raw, unfiltered truth of how power and wealth are truly built in this world. Definiteness of purpose. Get crystal clear on what you want. Burn it into your soul and let it filter every decision. Self-discipline. Declare war on your lazy self. Embrace the pain of progress and understand that consistency under duress is where transformation lives. Immediate action, kill the later mentality. Move fast, move decisively, and let action be the cure for every doubt and fear. Organized planning and accurate thinking. Don't just hope for success, engineer it. Plan with precision. Eliminate faulty thinking and let clarity be your weapon. Persistence and ruthless accountability. Refuse to quit. Embrace the grind. Let failure be feedback, not defeat. And hold yourself to a standard so high that mediocrity can't even breathe in your presence. This isn't for the faint of heart. This isn't for those who seek comfort. This is for the wolves among you. The ones who are ready to shed the sheep's clothing and step into their true power. The world is noisy. It's filled with critics, distractions, and excuses. But you're different. You're learning the rules of the game at a level most people don't even know exists. So go forth! Apply these triggers. Move with certainty. Build in silence. And let your success be the only noise worth hearing. Your empire awaits. Now go get it. Remember the risk standard. We don't just talk about it. We are it.